Welcome to Gambletown. We have a new man in charge, a viceroy of Gambletown. That is Ryan Edgecombe, finally taking control after mine and Tony's reigns of terror. Mostly Tony's reign of terror.
Yeah, a lot of
That
terror.
is right. I took the gamble, if you will, on Joe Burrow having his seventh consecutive game with 3 passing touchdowns.
It wasn't
And
much of a gamble, all right. As a show, we did pretty well though last week. We were 9-6, and 1-5 on parlays. Ryan had his millionaire bet. Not the best week, not the worst week though, but we won more than we lost as a show, and that's all you can ask for.
That's true.
All right.
Cool. So let's start going. We got
Yeah, let's get into it. We
slate.
got a game coming.
The last week of games that actually matter. All right, so we're starting at noon in an hour and 45 minutes from right now with the Chargers going to New England. Chargers road favorites minus 268 on the money line. New England upsets plus 260. Line is 5.5. Total is 41.5. Ryan, start us off.
I like a lot of stuff in this game, but something that stands out to me the most is Hunter Henry's line at least on FanDuel is at 41.5. That's low for him. He's generally around 43 to 45 yards. And let's be honest, the Chargers defense aren't who they were at the beginning of the season. Um, and I think this game could be sneaky, especially with the Chargers going all the way over to New England to play today, coast to coast. Um, I like Herbert's throwing lines. If he gets 154 yards or more, he will be officially passing Peyton Manning's record of the most passing yards in history through 5 seasons for a quarterback. He'll surpass 20,618.
I think
Um,
what's kind of impressive about that is the dog shit teams he's been on to do that.
but yeah, all I got for as a top 5 bet from this game is Hunter Henry is what I'm most confident in, 41.5.
Okay. Waleed?
I don't think I'm betting anything in this game. I don't care.
Okay. I am one of my top 5 plays of the week is in this game. It is Ladd McConkey to go over 70.5 receiving yards. The Patriots are a big man coverage team, and McConkey got a 6 in my system this week. So I have him at 70.5. I have the over. The Patriots are get crushed in the slot, especially over the last few weeks. Their strength is on the outside. So Ladd McConkey over 70.5, one of my top 5 bets of the week. I think the Chargers win. Chargers lock up their playoff spot. And yeah, there we go. Let's move on. We got a game that I think everyone's looking forward to as the highlight of the early slate. Denver going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati major home favorites for some reason. They're at 62% odds, minus 173 on the money line. A Denver road upset plus 161. The spread is 3.5, and the total is 49.5 or 50, depending on where you look. Waleed?
I do have a top 5 bet of the week. And this is one where I leaned on Tony's system because this is the best guy in his system. I am absolutely taking T. Higgins over 69.5
like
receiving
Higgins.
yards. Like
Yeah.
that's a guy that I think
Oh,
is just
did it go down? Where did you get 69.5? Because I thought it was 71.5.
it was on BetMGM that I think it was
Okay.
69.5. It depends on the book.
Okay.
But let's see exactly where that was. T. Higgins at receiving yards. Oh, DKs. Actually, it's 68.5 on BetMGM. I haven't actually placed this
Oh,
bet yet,
really?
so I might need to smash that. Okay,
Okay.
well, I'm
Well, you got till
sticking at
3:30.
69. I'm keeping it at 69.5 because it shows it on DK, but I will take it where I take it. And if I actually have to adjust what I actually bet, I will after the show, but I haven't placed my bets quite yet, but I'm betting all of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah, guys, I agree with Tony. I don't know why Cincinnati is like so heavily, not like crazy heavily favored, but at minus 186 on FanDuel. I think this should be a lot closer. Let's take in mind, guys, that the Bengals are 0-7 against teams with winning records this year. They just have that unlucky horseshoe up their butts this year. Um,
Is it unlucky when your defense is garbage? Like their offense
True,
is absolutely like
true.
fire, but they can't stop
Um,
anyone.
I'm hesitant to bet Chase, and I think the pivot is Higgins. We got Sertan's going to be covering Chase this week. I would, if I was, if I was doing something, I'd maybe go with the receptions, but even that's high. It's like at 7.5, guys. So I think I'm staying away from Chase this week, and I'm rolling with Higgins. Um, nothing made like a top five bet from this game. I will say though that Chase is trying to vie for the triple crown this week for receptions, yards, and touchdowns for wide receivers. He has the title right now, but he needs to keep it going to get those numbers up so someone can't pass him. Um, the one thing I do have from this game is part of my one of my parlays this week. It's the over in the game at 49.5. I got that yesterday. I locked that bet in yesterday. It's actually went up to 50.5. Um the last four straight Broncos games have gone over the total, and they're playing Cincinnati, who has a potent offense but a horrible defense. So I think both teams are going to be able to put up points in this game. So I think 49.5 is easily ascertainable. And as Tony mentioned, the rain might not be as bad as we thought. So
True.
only thing I got from this game is the overrun points, 49.5.
I do
Okay.
want to point out I did also have a same game parlay in this where I'm taking my T Higgins receiving line. I'm adding his over on receptions at 5.5 and taking a touchdown. I actually haven't
Okay.
figured out what those odds are yet. You know what? I'll have that at the end by the end of the show. But
So, yeah, my top play of the week from the wide receiver model is T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards. So that's not one of my top five bets of the week because as I was making my top five bets of the week, this was still projected to be like a deluge rainstorm. Um,
Okay.
but I do have action on Higgins over 69.5 and Chase over 92.5 because Jamar Chase did get a 7 in my model. So Higgins and Chase are my two top ranked receivers this week. And like that's still, like I said, guys, my metric does include defensive EPA allowed. So like
Sure.
even with the 32nd ranked defensive EPA allowed, what Cincinnati's doing on offense is just so good that it almost doesn't fucking matter. So I like both of those plays. None of them are top five bets of the week, but I do have just as many units as a top five bet of the week on Higgins and Chase this week. So all
Okay.
right, let's go to Saturday night. Swinging Saturday night, Arizona going to the Rams. The Rams are minus 289 home favorites. Cardinals plus 262. Spread is 6.5, and the total is 47.5. Ryan.
I personally don't have anything from this game. The only thing that intrigued me, it would have been like my top maybe seven bet, was the Kyron Williams rushing over, but I pulled back on that, just thinking that potentially the Rams go up and they feel maybe they don't want Kyron to get hurt and he doesn't play the fourth quarter or something like that when he only has maybe 80 yards, you know. So I was hesitant to bet the 90.5. But other than that, I don't have anything from this game.
All right, Waleed.
um, I like I want to take a passing over, but I don't trust Kyler, so I'm just not going to bet this game. That's the only thing that really stood out to me. I do think James Conner is an interesting play, but I'm not. But it wasn't something that made one of my top five bets.
So I actually James Conner back-to-back 100-yard rushing weeks would have had probably 175 last week if he didn't go down on a hip drop tackle, which wasn't called. Um, but he's good to go this week, and he's playing the Rams, and the Rams can't stop the run for shit. So my millionaire bet this week is an
Okay.
adjusted line James Conner 90 plus rushing yards at plus 340.
I like that.
So I
Yeah.
was thinking maybe plus 80, whatever, but Fantasy Points data has the defense adjusted yards before contact per carry. James Conner has the second best matchup of the week in terms of yards before
Yeah,
contact per carry.
it's kind of weird, the disparity between the lines between those backs. 90.5 for Kyron and only 58.5 for, yeah, that's weird.
Right. It's not like the Rams have been setting the world on fire over the last few games. Like they've been
Right.
last week
They
was what
have
They've been squeaking wins out. Yeah.
they've been susceptible to the run over the last month of the season. That's absolutely something I have noticed. That's why I was kind of eyeing Connor, but didn't actually end up pulling a trigger on it.
if we finish the show early enough and I can fire off a couple of DraftKings Saturday, Sunday lineups,
Yeah.
I'll definitely be doing Connor. I'm looking at Connor as one of my main plays of the week. There's only like 3 running backs I love this week, but he's one of them. All right, so let's go to Sunday. We're going to
All right.
Sunday. We are going to talk Dallas and Philadelphia. How exciting. Let's see. So Dallas are road underdogs. Eagles behind the strong arm of Kenny Pickett, minus 325 on the money line. Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb, plus 301. Spread 7.5. Total is 40.5. Ryan.
I literally have nothing from this game. I don't believe that Saquon is going to break Dickerson's record. They're going to want to keep him healthy for the playoffs. That would be the smart thing to do. So I will not be betting his, what is it, 111-yard rushing over or something like that. That was the only thing that would be like entertaining for me to watch in this game. I am a little uh weirded out that the line is only 38.5 on this game. I mean, the Eagles could potentially put up that many points by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll take their foot off the gas if they're up by 2
Yeah,
touchdowns.
that's true. That's true. But other than, yeah, I have no interest in betting on this game. So
Okay. Waleed?
I think Saquon was the only line that was worth looking at, but it was like 114 and a half. And
Yeah.
I can't pull the trigger on that. Not mainly because I think that like Ryan has a point. There's a potential game script thing where they're like, you know what, we need to be like conservative with him. But also Nick Sirianni is an idiot, so it could go the other way.
true.
I'm still mad at him for fucking. You had 200 like yards from Saquon last week, and you still fucking lost.
True.
Like, so I don't even know what to say.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
you and I both have a top 5 bet of the week in this game. Do you want to talk about it?
Um. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk about it because I really just tailed your system on this one.
Okay. So any chance I have to bet AJ Brown, I'm gonna bet. And anytime the system hits on AJ Brown, I'm in. AJ Brown got a
60,
7 and
yeah,
what?
65 seems low for him. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. AJ Brown is a 7 in the system, so he's got one of the better matchups of the week. I actually think he's gonna. What's up? Oh, I thought I heard something.
No.
I did too.
I think that he's gonna fucking crush. Kenny Pickett threw 24 passes last week. AJ Brown had 15 targets.
Oh, hell yeah. You've just convinced me.
Okay.
So I pulled this from Fantasy Points data, obviously. His 72.2% first read target share in week 16 is the best mark by any player in any game in Fantasy Points data history.
I mean,
Really?
say what you will about Kenny Pickett, he knows who he should be throwing to.
And you know what? That's the thing about AJ Brown is like, as much as I love his target share, if you throw him go route after go route, yeah, he's gonna catch 1 or 2 of them, but like there's
It's
not
the-
consistent. He was
Yeah.
using, if you watch that game last week, Pickett's hitting him on slants, he's hitting him on outs, he's hitting him all over the field. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he's not afraid to throw over the middle like Jalen Hurts is.
Yeah.
So AJ Brown over 65.5, one of my top 5 bets of the week, and he is a core DFS play for me this week.
All right.
All right.
I might do that bet.
It's a
Yeah,
good one.
I like it. It's definitely smart.
Like you're telling me you took his usual like average line down like 15 yards after he got 15 targets from Kenny Pickett last week? Are you fucking
That's true.
stupid?
That's true.
And the fact is, like all season, Dallas Cowboys are susceptible to boundary receivers. Like that's where you attack them in the passing game.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
need one of you guys to handle the next one because my cat is crawling in the rafters.
Okay,
Okay.
absolutely.
Uh,
All right. So
what do you
next
got,
game here,
Waleed?
we got Buffalo at New York. Buffalo -9.5 on ESPN Bet. The line is set at 45.5, and you get a money line bet of +446 if you take the Jets to win, which you would be stupid to do.
Sure.
Ryan, what do you got on this game?
Guys, I don't have any top five bets from this game, but on one of the things that made my three-leg points parlay this week is the over in this game at 46.5. 6 of 7 of the last sorry, the Bills are 7-0 at home this year
Yep.
outright, right? And 6 of 7 of those home games have gone over the total. And the Bills, I don't think want to let up on the gas just yet this season. I think Allen's going to score. Not to mention, we have some milestones for the Jets that need to happen. So I think Rodgers is going to keep this game close. Rodgers only needs one touchdown pass to become the fifth player in NFL history to reach 500 passing touchdowns. Garrett Wilson needs only 13 yards to have 3 straight seasons over 1,000 yards, and last time that happened for a Jets wide receiver was George Sauer between 1966 and 1968.
Good God.
um, so as I said, I don't have any props from this game. I think this will be a more fun game to watch. But I am going to be taking the over 46.5. Do you have anything, Waleed?
No, I don't have anything in this game, but I do think what I was going to look at here, because I was really debating if I wanted to take Josh Allen's passing over at 212.5, because Jets
This seems kind
defense,
of low.
yeah, it seems really low. And the thing I wanted to look up, I'm going to do this on the fly real quick. I wanted to say that my man here has been, you know what? It's kind of interesting. He either throws for 300 yards or 150 yards. So I get why that line is what it
Right.
is over the last. But like, really, he's only hit under that. He's only hit that under at 212.5. Twice in the last 10 games, which is kind of
Sure.
insane. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just kind of have a feeling that Josh Allen is going to go off this week. It's a pure gut play. I'm on the fence on whether I'm going to bet it, but I think what I might just end up doing is just throwing him in the DFS lineup. I don't know. Like, he had a bad game last week, which makes me think he's just going to go off this week.
Sure.
All right. And Tony, do you have anything? I mean, you're kind of in the background. I don't
I
know.
I don't see anything on his spreadsheet, so I'm sure he's fine. We can.
All right. Let's go on to the next game. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the New Orleans Saints.
Oh
Uh,
God, the
The
air
Saints
dankest game of the
money
week.
line bet said Saints money line is +110. The line is 1.5, and the over under is 37.5. Which, if I'm going to be honest, feels a little bit high with both of these teams. This
Yeah.
feels like garbage ball all over the place. Ryan, you got
Eh,
anything?
Let me tell you something, guys. This is a garbage game. So you're gonna want to bet the under at 37.5, and let me tell you why. All right. Unders when Aiden O'Connell starts are 10-5 and
Okay.
4-0 in the past 4 games. So
The under's +105 here though. Like the juice is to the under, or the
I
juice is to the over.
yeah, I like the under though. Be
Yeah,
bold. Be bold. Bet
I
this
get
game.
it.
This game's gonna be like 17-10 or 14-13. Something stupid.
Yeah,
Uh these teams can't score right now.
I
They're
mean, these
just
teams also can't stop other offenses, is the thing. But like, I get what you're saying. It's Aiden
yeah.
O'Connell versus Spencer Rattler.
But
So
yeah, the Saints will be lucky if they score a touchdown. If they get 3 field goals, that would be a miracle for them. I think.
yeah,
I could see Bowers getting a touchdown. Maybe they get 20 points, but if it's
yeah.
20-9, just the under is still way in play,
I get what you're saying. Like,
and
yeah,
and and
I
and allows for the Saints to score another touchdown. So
is Alvin Kamara even playing?
I don't think so. Let me
Yeah,
check.
yeah, he has got no props. So
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara,
they wouldn't if he wasn't well, Vegas wouldn't put the line. The line would probably be more at like 40.5 or 41 if Kamara was playing.
yeah,
I think.
he's Yeah, there's nothing really. They haven't even set any lines because they're not sure he's playing. If Kamara doesn't play, I like that under a lot more. I think that's probably the only thing that's worth
If
looking at
they've
in this game.
if they're gonna put out a Kendre Miller line of 41.5, I think they're pretty sure that Kamara's not gonna play.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Uh,
I'm kind of curious if like a Brock Bowers line would be worthwhile, but frankly, I don't want to touch this game. It feels like anything that happens in this
no.
game, if it doesn't hit, I'm just gonna feel bad about not hitting it,
Uh,
so I'm just gonna ignore it.
Bowers at 6.5 in receptions and 71.5 yards. I
It's
think
not
I
worth
just want
it.
to stay away. Yeah.
I agree. All right. I'm gonna assume Tony also does not have anything in this
N-
game, and
he
then we're
does
gonna,
not.
yeah, he doesn't have anything on the sheet. So I'll
No.
go over. I'm gonna go over to our next game, which is the Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Giants.
Ooh, hello.
Uh,
I got you here. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. My cat's
oh
fucking
no, you're
little
cool. I
diva.
assume we assumed that you had a lot of bets that you wanted us to do about Vegas and New
And the
Orleans, but
Saints.
we
Yeah.
decided that we were not going to let the public hear those
Yeah, I put
because
mortgage
Yes.
out on Spencer Rattler passing overs. All right, so Colts road favorites minus 377 on the money line. Giants plus 320 for a home upset. Spread set between 7.5 to 8.5. Total 40 to 40.5. Waleed, go first.
Um, the only thing that I think is really worth looking at here is the Jonathan Taylor rushing over. Um, but the thing is, it's too high. It's over 100. This
Yeah.
matchup is good.
I
I think Jonathan Taylor is a good DFS play this week if you want to pay a little bit of money. But other than that, I'm not really interested in this game.
Okay, Ryan.
yeah, the guys, this was my Air Dangus game for TH Fantasy last night. I think this is going to be one of the worst games. The line's at 40.5. I'll be betting the under. Um, as I mentioned last night, the Giants are trying to become the first team in NFL history to go 0-9 at home. Since we started the 17 game season, no team, I think we've had 17 games for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yep.
No team has ever gone 0-9 at home, and the Giants have a chance to do that, and they will. Um,
They're,
that's because my
the
prediction of
Giants are
them
chasing
having
history, guys.
my prediction of them having 2 wins on the season at the beginning of the year is coming to fruition. But other than that, I will not be betting on this game. Uh,
I'm definitely. Oh, go ahead, Waleed. Sorry.
Oh no, I already said I want
Oh
nothing
yeah.
to do with
Okay.
this.
Um, I can't lie to you. I kind of like um depending on what we find out about Anthony Richardson, who is still questionable, though he hasn't practiced once this week. Um, if it's Flacco, you got to put Downs in, man.
Oh, I think so too. I think he's the guy that you'll want in DFS for sure.
Yeah, he's they're a single
oh
high
yeah,
guy,
that's right.
single high coverage team. Josh Downs eats single high alive. Um, I like Tyrone Tracy receiving overs, not enough to put money on it, but I think that he'll get some yardage in the passing game. But no straight bets in this game for me. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's never
Right.
talk about this game again. All right, a game that I'm sure we have a ton in here. Carolina going to Tampa Bay. No Chuba Hubbard as of a little bit ago. He got put in IR. Put his ass on ice for next year.
Yeah.
So our numbers for this game: Tampa Bay minus 388 on the money line, Carolina plus 340. Spread is somewhere between 8.5 and 8, and the total is between 48 and 49.5. Ryan.
Well, that's disheartening that Hubbard is out.
Yeah, because you have
Um,
if you want to change your parlay, you can. Like, because that
yeah,
changes how I would feel about like Carolina
yeah.
covering.
So the third leg of my parlay was Carolina plus 8.5. Because let's see, Carolina, the Panthers are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games as underdogs. I might leave it. We'll see. It just means they're gonna have to pass, so it'll be good for Thielen. But I also have a same game parlay from this game. It's heavily leaning on the Buccaneers. I went Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I did McMillan's over 39.5 receiving. I did Thielen's adjusted line 50 plus. I did Evans' adjusted line 70 plus, and I did Bucky's adjusted line 60 plus rushing. They gave me 685 odds, put 5 units down to win almost 40.
Nice.
Baker, guys, only needs one touchdown pass to get 35 and would join the likes of Tom Brady as the only other quarterback to ever throw 35 or more passing touchdowns in a season for the Bucks.
Okay.
So he will get that. I think Bucky's line at 80.5 to do that 60 plus is a safe bet. Evans was at what, 81, right?
I have Evans at 81.5. I don't know what he is now.
Yeah.
Let's see
Um,
what he's at now.
so I think that line of 70.5 is pretty good. And Thielen's line, I believe, was at 59.5. So I think that 50 plus line is good. McMillan is also one of my top 5 bets this week, guys. The last 4 games has just been on fire, and 39.5 seems low for a game that Baker needs to ball out to take control of this NFC South.
Sure.
Yeah, so I got a lot in this game.
Okay. Waleed?
I got a top 5 bet of the week. I'm not going to stop taking rushing overs against Carolina until they show that they can stop rushing overs from hitting. So I'm
Sure.
taking Bucky Irving over 79.5 rushing yards. Simple as that. They've been giving up almost 6 yards per carry, and Bucky Irving, he's been balling the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like he'll get that on one carry. I don't know when that carry is going to happen, but I know it's going to happen on one of those carries.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all I have in this game.
All right, cool. Because I love this game. Mike Evans is another one of those guys that got a 7 in my model this week. His line's at 81.5. It's a top 5 bet of the week. He actually got 7 twice. He got 2 7s this week, my friends.
What? That's 14.
He got a 14 out of 10.
The first ever 14 out of the system.
You guys, we had such a bad beat. Well, I got it at 68.5 last week because I got it early, and he ended up with 69 receiving yards. Great job by Vegas. But like,
Right.
Mike Evans had 59 yards in the first half, and I'm like, oh god, he's gonna crush.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Carolina, 12th most receiving yards per game to receivers aligned out wide. Last time these two teams played, Evans went 8 for 118 and a touch. He is 182 yards away from his 1,000-yard season. I think they get it this week. Maybe not all of it, but I'm thinking he could go for 120. So
Okay.
he's a core DFS play for me as well. So I have Mike Evans over 81.5.
That's where he's at.
Yeah.
So.
And actually, I got him on Prize Picks for the TH Fantasy podcast. We do like I do a little 2-legger each week, and I did AJ Brown over 65.5, and I paired it with Mike Evans over 83.5, and I hung fucking $20 on it, man. I'll take the $60 return. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
I love Bucky this week. I also have action on Bucky over 83.5. It's a high number, but it's Carolina. I actually also earlier in the week got it at 80.5 on BetMGM. So I have a total of $20 invested in Bucky going over 84 rushing yards this week. So Evans and Bucky. DFS, I am going with Buccaneers super stacks. I'm going Baker, Evans, Bucky whenever I can.
Okay.
I think an overload this week is probably the best move you can make.
Reminds me. Send me that Superflex.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, so let's move on. We got Tennessee at Jacksonville in a game that I'm actually like kind of interested in. I can't lie to you guys.
I'm quietly interested in this too. Like I'm intrigued by Tony Pollard. I think his rushing line could be interesting. I'm sorry, I should let you talk.
Oh, you're good. It's a 6-game early slate, so we're gonna see a lot of it.
Yeah.
Both of them, like the money line, Tennessee's on the road. They're plus 100. A Jags home wins minus 104. Spreads 1 to 1.5, and the total is 39 to 40.5, depending on where you look. Waleed, go ahead, man.
Well, I would say they don't have any rushing lines because I think Tony Pollard's questionable still.
Correct.
I think he's interesting. What I kind of think, I actually think 39.5 at the over. That seems low to me in this game.
I agree.
Like surprisingly, like this feels like two garbage teams that are gonna like beat up on each other. and like feel like, see, we can actually do this against scrubs, you know?
Yeah, I'm into that.
But other than that, not too much in this game, honestly.
Okay. Ryan, what do you got, baby?
Guys, one of my top 5 bets. BTJ touchdown. It is happening. All right. BTJ will become one of 5 players in Jaguars franchise history to catch 10 or more touchdown passes on a season. And he's a rookie, which is awesome.
That is true.
At plus 130, that's not that bad, honestly. That means that Vegas is saying, yeah, he's probably going to score. Um, I like that. I like that line. Um, I might look a little bit at Ridley. That didn't make my top 5. It was like in my top 10. The Ridley line. It was 62.5 yesterday. I wrote down. I didn't officially bet it yet. But yeah, I won't go on. I BTJ touchdown. It's
You're
gonna
in.
happen.
All right, Waleed, what do you
Yeah.
got? Oh, there.
We already
Go ahead.
got from me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I usually write this stuff down, but I've been all over the place today.
Dude,
All right,
it's
so
cats make the cat's stressing you out. I get it.
hey, not stressing me out. Just climbing in the rafters. Not great, Bob. And I think I just pulled a muscle in my arm pulling him out. So how fun. That's that. Don't ever get old, folks. So I have watched since May my guy Ryan Edgecombe fawn over BTJ, and he's a dog. He's a dog, but I have like no ownership, and I haven't had ownership of him anywhere. I mean, in DFS, sure, but whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hang out tomorrow, hopefully with you guys, watch
Yep.
this game, and I hung twice as much as a top 5 bet of the week on BTJ's receiving over at 77.5.
Love it.
I threw down $20 because I want to be just
Oh
as stoked
shit.
as you guys are. Because I'm going to tell you something that I've been noticing. They've been doing a lot more short BTJ routes, and I love it.
And
Yeah.
like, and if you get him in space in that short route,
Yep.
his yak has been fun.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's fun to watch. No, I agree because like, I like Tony and I at the beginning of the year. We had the exact same thought on Brian Thomas Jr., which was he's either going to be a top 10 receiver or he's going to be a complete bust. And I think like the early returns say this man is going to be a top 10 receiver in the NFL. I'm going to have so much exposure to him next year. It's not
All
even
right.
funny.
Let me just
I
say,
have so much exposure to him redraft this year. He can also get that 62-yard touchdown like he did last week.
Hell yeah.
I said this on the pod last night. I want to run through it real quick. His separation score on slants, first. Separation score on posts, fifth. Separation score on go routes, 13th. Separation score on crosses, 19th.
And this is as a rookie, man. Like
Right. So I also wanted to say, by the way, hilariously, one of these two teams is going to fuck themselves in April because both of these teams are tied at 3-12.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
yeah,
of these
that's
teams
right.
is going to lose 3 to 4 spots in draft position, by the
Yep.
way. So if you're a Jags fan, like my guy Ryan Edgecombe, you might be rooting for a Titans win so that Jacksonville can get Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Just putting it out
Yeah.
there. All right, let's move on. Two teams with nothing to play for. Miami's visiting Cleveland. Miami road favorites minus 213. Cleveland plus 234 for a home win. Spread is wide. I get it as low as Miami minus 4.5 and up to Cleveland plus 6.5. And I have a Caesars total at 35.5, but I also have a rebet total of 39.5. So
Yeah.
wild swing variance there. Ryan, go
Yeah.
ahead. What do you got?
Did they like rule Tua out or something? Like
Nope.
why?
Two is there. He's got pretty low lines.
I
Truth
don't
be
know
told,
why the points total is so low. And they don't have any receiving lines up yet. So there's something's up with Tua. Like I don't know what's. They don't even have they don't have
say?
receiving lines up for
I think Evan said
what?
weather.
That's a good
I
question.
think
But
I think
I
that's what
mean,
Evan said. But
I there's no Cleveland lines up, but there's no Dolphins lines up either. So,
Yeah,
um,
well, it's funny too because like literally 20 minutes ago, this Tua's passing over was going to be one of my top 5 bets of the week, but I pulled it at the last minute because I decided I had to go with the one that I think is actually going to happen. We'll get to
yeah,
that later. But like I actually like Tua a lot in this game because Cleveland, you can beat them in the passing game, and I think the short passing game is going to be effective against Cleveland. I actually think this could be a nice over game, but like if it's raining, maybe that's what it is. Now I've got to.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm looking up the
Un-
weather. Cleveland weather
unfortunately,
tomorrow.
Go ahead,
unfortunately,
Ryan.
guys, I was gonna do something with Jonnu Smith, but as I said, there's no lines up, so none of those bets from this game are going to make the show. So, I'm sure there'll be something tomorrow to bet on. I will say that the Browns are 4-11 against the spread this year, so it was 5.5 yesterday. So I kind of like the 4.5 now. But
I can.
I'm gonna wait till all these lines are posted to do any actual betting on this game. So,
So I'm going to give you a weather report right now. Tomorrow there is 100% chance of rain with 22-mile-per-hour winds.
oh
So
shit.
There
I
you go.
think what I just read there, guys, I kind of like the under here. If I can get that under at 39.5, I might just take that.
Yeah,
And
if
it's
you can get it at
cold.
39.5, hell yeah, it's 35.5 on FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah,
And
where's
it's
it?
it's cold weather Tua. So
Yeah,
True.
I'm also seeing. Why is this in millimeters? Precipitation 24 millimeters. That sounds like a foot of rain.
yeah,
What
that
is this,
sounds like a
France?
lot.
What's up,
Yeah,
Ryan?
I said, what is this, France? This is
No,
UA,
it's
USA.
listen. You take your fucking euro and you tell your story walking.
Yeah.
Dolphins by 50.
In America, a euro is lamb on a pita,
God
not
damn it.
money.
God damn it. We didn't listen, British people. We didn't bail your ass out in Vietnam for nothing. Also, can I just say, with a 2-game afternoon slate, this game is going to be still somehow forgotten.
yeah.
Oh yeah, right?
Because let's
Oh
let's
my
move
God.
on.
I didn't even think about that. That's gonna be the most boring 3 hours on Red Zone, like all
You've ever
Yeah.
year.
seen. Yep. They better
Yeah,
get a whole all of next season better be commercial free because they'll play so many commercials during the late
I'll
We
be
season.
should
honest.
do
I'm
we should
leaving
do
during.
commercial watch.
I'm not staying for the second half of games.
You shouldn't. Absolutely
Yeah,
not. You could just listen to Packers Vikings on was it 720 that does Waleed on your drive home? You could pump some Wayne Larrivee
I
through your
could. You know
speakers.
what? I do miss Wayne Larrivee. He was a great play-by-play guy.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, and it's completely relevant to this sports gambling show, but we're ahead of schedule, so fuck you. Listen, um, Wayne Larrivee was the Bears radio play-by-play guy for like 15, 20 years,
Yeah,
and he left to go be Green Bay's radio play-by-play guy because he was always a Packers fan.
yeah.
Yeah, what the
And
hell?
he just had a job in Chicago, so he took it. So when he got a chance to be the play-by-play guy for his
His
favorite
home
team,
team. Yeah,
he took it. But he
and
is a great play-by-play guy.
and Chicago fans were real stupid about it.
I'm still stupid about it because he's way better than Jeff Joniak. All right, so
Yeah, but whatever,
I like
man.
Jeff
Like
Joniak. Jeff Joniak's got a good radio voice.
that's
I
true.
like, I like
But he's
Jeff
not
Joniak, but he's not Wayne Larrivee. I don't think that's a diss to Joniak so much as it's singing Wayne Larrivee's praises.
Wayne Larrivee was the sound of my childhood. We'd turn down the radio broad or the TV broadcast and listen to the game on the radio.
Same.
All right, so we're talking Packers, Vikings, the game of the week for sure.
Oh
Arguably one of
yeah.
the early games of the season in terms of what's at stake here. Um, Green Bay's on the road. They are road dogs. You can get them at plus 105. Minnesota minus 112. So if you're confident in Minnesota, those aren't bad odds.
It
Spread
isn't.
is close. It's between +1 to -0.5. Total's 48.5. Waleed, what do you got?
I mean, if I might bet that Vikings money line just because minus 112 is nothing, and I honestly think the Vikings are a significantly better team than the Packers. Which is not to say that the Packers aren't like a good team, but I
Right.
think that like the Vikings are in that S tier of football teams this year.
Right. You're right.
Um, I'm not going to bet anything in this game. Honestly, I just want to watch this game.
Yeah, right.
That's as simple as that.
game,
I don't want to make any bets because I don't really know how this game is going to go, but I expect a good football game, so I'd rather just not be cluttered with it.
Okay.
um,
Ryan?
yeah, since this game's probably going to be really close and a really nice shootout, we won't have to worry about weather, guys. It's in Minnesota. It's in the Horn Dome. Um, l- let's.
I'm now calling it the Horn Dome from now on. Ryan, you are on fire today.
Dude, Ryan has like, and this is no comment on the man's political whatever. Ryan has Trump level turns of phrase.
No,
Like,
because I'm not in any way, shape, or form a
yeah, right.
Republican.
Like, I hate Donald Trump, but when he called Ron DeSantis Meatball Ron, he cooked him.
Yeah.
I do have some good stuff like that.
Well,
I do.
Fatty
say what
chiming
you
in.
will about Trump. He can roast someone.
Yep. Fatty chiming in the
Uh,
chat that Tua is questionable due to a hip. And also, Hub Arkish. How do you get any better than that?
Yeah.
I met Hub Arkish at a NFL draft party at Arlington racetrack, and I got an
okay.
autograph. And he was like, "You want an autograph from me?" And my dad was like, "My son listens to a lot of Bears sports radio."
Yeah.
So I've been a fucking loser forever.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
Um,
go ahead, Ryan.
yeah. So like I said, I think this game is going to be a shootout. So I am intrigued by the over 48.5. I think I might do something with that. But I got time to think about that. But one of my top 5 bets is going to be Jordan Addison's over 59.5 yards. I think Justin Jefferson and Addison are both going to ball out. I was just a little too skittish to bet the Jefferson. What was it, 90.5?
I got
Um,
it at 88.5.
Yeah.
okay. Um, I Addison's been doing great, and he's been a great compliment to Jefferson. We got no Jair Alexander. Let's just get both of them to cook. I think both of them can have 60 plus. I was just a little bit hesitant to bet the higher line with Jefferson than Addison,
Sure,
which is under his average, the last like 6 games. So,
that makes sense.
I have changed my mind. There's one bet that I was just decided I wanted to look at
Go
because I
ahead.
actually think these are good odds. On DK minus 135. Jordan Love over half of an interception.
I like it.
Minus 135.
okay.
Those are really good odds
Yeah,
against
yeah,
a
that's good
Vikings
for an
defense that
interception.
is turning over the ball. And Jordan Love, he's gonna sling it. There's a good chance he throws at least one.
Yeah.
Like, I
Sure.
actually think that's a really strong bet here that I'm definitely gonna make it. So I lied.
So I am personally fading this game for DFS because I think it's going to be the most owned game in all DFS lineups, and I think there's going to be a ton of leverage elsewhere. Like if you can pay down and get like a BTJ to help get you, a Jonathan Taylor, so you don't
Mhm.
have to pay for Jefferson. Like I'll take that 8 days a week.
Yeah.
But I will say one of my top 5 bets of the week is in this matchup, and numbers be damned, don't care. Justin Jefferson over 88.5 receiving yards. He got a 6 in my model this week. He's Justin Jefferson. I'm hoping this game shoots out, but even if it doesn't, Jefferson can get 90 to 100 yards regardless of script. So I'm in on Jefferson this week at 88.5.
If it wasn't for Jamar Chase's season, we would be talking about Justin Jefferson's season. Like, he's the
Absolutely.
number 2 receiver in football, and he is crushing it.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So let's move on then from the game of the week to a game actually low key I'm pretty excited to watch.
I'm very excited for this game.
Yeah, I can tell by your bets. Atlanta
Yep.
going to Washington. Washington minus 174 home favorites. Atlanta on the money line plus 165. Spreads 3.5. Total is between 47.5 and 48.5. Floor is yours, Waleed. Take it away.
All right. I broke my rule. I like to only have one of my top 5 bets in each game, but there are 2 matchups here that are just too fucking good for me to not take. And that is Bijan Robinson. I got Bijan Robinson to over here at
Okay.
81.5. Washington can't stop the run. They
No,
haven't
not at
all
all.
year. They have consistently been giving up over 5 yards a carry over the last 4 weeks over the season. Last week, Saquon cooked them. And Bijan is just as good as Saquon. I'll say it. Like, I know he isn't quite there, like from a pedigree standpoint, and obviously Saquon's having a God mode season, but Bijan's the truth. And Bijan, I like him so much. One of my same game parlays here, I got Bijan at 110 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns because I know that they can't throw the ball, and we know that like with Penix in, they're going to lean on the run. So $10 at plus 950 for 2 touchdowns and 110 yards for Bijan pays out $105. I'm really excited for this bet. On the other side of that, Atlanta, especially over the last month, cannot stop boundary receivers. And the fact that
Sure.
Tony's model also likes Terry McLaurin means that I can't. Because I've said it all year. Every time that Tony's system and my system line up, and I didn't look at it this week, but I know what Atlanta has been the last 4 weeks. When those things line up, it is only good for betting overs. So Terry McLaurin over 64.5 is a smash play.
Yeah.
You
I
love to see
also
it.
I also have in my millionaire bet. I'm taking Bijan for 2 touchdowns at plus 460.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm going hard on this game.
This is Waleed's Airbud Goes to Washington game.
You're goddamn right it is.
The lore is circled
Uh,
back.
I also agree about McLaurin this week, guys. But I'm going. I had to have at least one reception bet because that's what's been doing good for me this year. So I
Ooh.
went with McLaurin's receptions, which seems low. I would have taken him in at 5.5, but it's at 4.5.
Yeah.
So I went with McLaurin's 4.5 receptions. Other than that, I don't have too much in this game. Waleed pretty much covered everything. I'll probably do something since this is the Sunday night game and we'll be counting all our money. I'll have plenty of stuff to bet on this game, so I will be probably tailing most of your guys' stuff. But I do have McLaurin's 4.5 receptions, but that's all I have from this game.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I like McLaurin a lot this week. He's one of my top 5 bets of the week. I got him at 64.5 receiving yards. So I have an interesting counterpoint to Ryan's receptions because I think he gets there. I really do. But he's elite against cover 2. He is the number 1 separator against cover 2 in the league. The Falcons only play cover 2 on 10% of their snaps. That's 25th. But they allow the 6th most fantasy points per dropback allowed to quarterbacks. And when they play cover 2, Terry is second in the NFL with a 40% first read target share. So I'm thinking I like McLaurin a lot. I want McLaurin. Let me pull it up real quick because I'm curious now. While I'm here, I want to know what his long reception is at 24.5. That's also something I think about taking as well. But Terry's regular just yardage over, I got it at 64.5. I'm in. I fucking love it. And Waleed, you sold me. I just hung $10 on Bijan to hit 81.5 rushing yards. So
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fun Sunday night game. I can
I
honestly
think so
say,
too.
like, after a really thin slate at noon and 3 Central Standard Time, it's true to say that we will have been waiting all day for Sunday night. All right, so let's talk our Monday night game, a game that we thought would be a game of the year back in, a long time ago, before everything.
In a galaxy far away.
Yeah, right. So we've got Detroit visiting San Francisco. Detroit road favorites minus 178 on the money line. A 49ers home win plus 174. Spreads 3.5. Total is 50.5. Ryan, you hit us with an interesting stat last night when we were recording the podcast. Why don't you start and tell us?
Yeah, guys, I'm hesitant to bet on the money lines in this game. I will say this year, guys, Detroit is 7-0 on road games. But they do not historically do well in Santa Clara. Tony knows the answer already, but I want Waleed to guess. So Detroit has a consecutive road game in Santa Clara loss, consecutive games in a row. I want you to guess how many it is.
All right. Because I know the history of the Detroit Lions, I'm going to just guess 27.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
It's 14. They
Okay.
have not won a game in Santa Clara in over 14 games.
Okay.
So I know Detroit's really freaking good this year, but something about that stat tells me this game could be really close. I I'm hesitant to bet anything in this
See,
game, honestly, right now.
I do not want to bet anything in this game, but I feel like it's worth pointing out that Detroit has only been good for 2 years, and this is the first
Right.
time in that 2 year stretch that they've been good that they're playing the 49ers on the road. So
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like that's
true.
one of those stats that's kind of interesting, but isn't actually relevant, if that
That's
makes
true.
any sense.
I feel like that stat goes back probably to when they were 0-16. So
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, this stat probably covers what, 12 years, maybe
yeah.
more.
It,
Yeah.
it, it it covers Patricia for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Absolutely.
covers a lot of bad coaches.
Um,
But
go ahead.
I also feel like it's worth stating too. Do you think I actually think that makes me like Detroit more because you think Dan Campbell hasn't told them it's been 14 games since they've
Yeah,
won in
that's
San
true.
Francisco? Like
Yeah.
I actually think they're going to come out here. And here's the fact: they can't lose. They have to win because if Minnesota wins, they can lose the division.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
they need
That's
to
true.
keep winning.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that. You're right. And I also forgot to tell you guys also about the stat from the Minnesota game. Sam Darnold, if he wins that game, he will be the first quarterback in NFL history to switch teams and go and win 14 or more games next year.
Oh, oh God.
Pretty cool.
I'm kind of rooting for Sam Darnold now because I feel like it's the rule that we always talk about. Quarterbacks, when they're drafted high and they're bad, we act like it's their fault. And I think it's safe to say maybe it's the Jets' fault.
Yeah,
What?
right?
Yeah,
The
I blame
Jets?
the Jets.
The
I blame the
Jets?
Bears. I blame everyone.
The Bears?
Yeah,
You don't say. I thought Trevor Lawrence was just bad.
yeah,
Structural incompetence? All
yeah.
right. So I don't have any top 5 bets of the week in this game, but I do have action on Jawan Jennings because he's one of the guys in my system.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Jawan Jennings got a 6 this week. As we know, the Lions pass defense is fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. So you can get Jawan Jennings right now on FanDuel at 62.5. For some reason, I didn't put that in before. I think it's probably because lines weren't posted when I did most of my bets. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now because I'm following the system, man. And if Detroit goes up early, just put it this way, there's plenty of circumstances here where Jawan Jennings easily gets his 60. So
Sure.
I like Jennings over 62.5 this week. All right.
Okay.
So Ryan, since you have the best top 5 bets of the week total so far, why don't you start us off and tell us your
Yeah.
top 5 bets of the week?
Let's see. Did Wally do the totals? Oh yeah. So I'm 52 and 33 on top 5 bets. That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
Flex
damn.
on us.
Ryan's like, oh, I'm so surprised. Look at how good my numbers are. Yeah, we know, Ryan.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Hey,
All
I'm
right. So
finally above 500 for the first time this year, so I'm excited about that.
my
But
top 5 bets this week, guys. Jalen McMillan over 39.5 receiving yards. McLaurin's over 4.5 receptions. Hunter Henry's over 41.5 receiving yards. Um, Jordan Addison's over 59.5 receiving yards, and a BTJ touchdown. Let's get
Okay.
it.
Okay. Waleed?
top 5 bets of the week, I got T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards, Bucky Irving over 79.5 rushing yards, Bijan over 81.5 rushing yards, A.J. Brown over 65.5 receiving yards, and Terry McLaurin over 64.5 receiving yards.
Okay. My top 5. I also have Terry McLaurin over 64.5 receiving. I have AJ Brown over 65.5 receiving. I have Evans over 81.5 receiving, Lad McConkey over 70.5, and Jefferson over 88.5. As your
Nice.
parlay, am I still your parlay king?
You are still the parlay king,
All
technically.
right. Bow before me. My money line parlay this week. Rams, Bills, Commanders. Got it at plus 134. $10 down will give me 23.35 back. I'm not trying to win huge pots, guys. Like parlays in and of themselves are negative EV plays, so I'm just trying to do the most obvious things that I can and string them together. And then my same game parlay isn't really a same game parlay, but it is a system parlay. I took Evans and Jefferson to go over 50 yards receiving, McConkey, Jennings, Brown, and McLaurin to all go over 40 yards receiving. Got me to plus 117. $10 down on that. Got me to 2165. Waleed, go ahead and go next.
Okay, so I used the bonus bet on my T Higgins parlay. I agree because that parlays are negative EV, which is why I try to stack one player or one range of outcomes in what I do. So T Higgins over 16.5 receiving yards, over 5.5 receptions, and a touchdown. I used the bonus bet of $5 to get plus 330, so that'll pay out $16.50. I also just did a nice simple two-leg parlay. Bijan 110 rushing yards and two anytime touchdowns, and $10 at plus 950 you'll pay out $105. I went big on this one because I really think that Bijan's going to go off.
You love to see
Oh
it.
yeah.
Ryan?
My parlays this week, from the Tampa Carolina game. I'm going Mayfield's over 1.5 passing touchdowns, McMillan's over 39.5 receiving, Thielen over 50 plus, Evans over 70 plus, and Bucky over 60 plus rushing. That gives you 685 odds. I just put $5 down on that to win almost 40. And then my points parlay this week, the Jets versus Buffalo game, I'm going over 46.5, because 6 of 7 of the Buffalo home games have gone over the total. I'm going over the Denver Cincinnati game, 49.5. Sorry guys, it's at 50.5 right now on FanDuel. I got it yesterday at 49.5.
Still worth it.
The Carolina game, at plus 8.5. It sucks that Hubbard's out now, but you know what? I'm still going to cover it. Carolina has covered as road underdogs 6 games in a row. Um, and Bryce Young had a great game last week. So, and look, Tampa's defense ain't that great. So they'll be able to throw on him. They'll
Okay.
get him involved. So you put all 3 of those together, it's plus 577 odds. I put 5 down on that too to win almost 34.
Okay. Ryan, since you're the viceroy, why don't you hit us with your millionaire bet?
Guys, I'm doubling down and I'm gonna see if Joe Burrow can go 8 weeks in a row with throwing 3 or more pass touchdowns. So I did the Burrow 3+ pass touchdown adjusted bet again. It was 198 last week. It's 158 this week. So I took that 29.80 that I won last week and I put it down on the 158 bet to win 76 and some change.
Okay. Waleed.
My millionaire bet, I'm going Bijan for 2 touchdowns. I'm getting plus 460, and that'll pay out $56.
Okay. And I will be going with James Conner with a modest 90 or more rushing yards. Got it at plus 340. That would bring me back $44. Now let's talk DFS picks to click. Waleed, why don't you tell us your quarterback play of the week?
So here's what I'm doing here. I'm going a little bit. I'm going to go cheap on my quarterback. I want to go Kenny Pickett
Okay.
because I can save some money and put money elsewhere. And he had a really good game last week. On the stat sheet, like he wasn't the. I don't know that he was the reason they lost that game.
No. All right, Ryan, your quarterback?
I'm gonna go Baker this week, guys.
Okay. I think that's a good play. I
Yeah.
am also saving salary, but I'm going to save salary by going with Mason Rudolph
Ooh,
against Jacksonville.
Wow.
interesting. I think that
Uh,
means we're gonna have the same tight end.
no, we won't.
Oh,
So, Wally, why don't you tell me your running back?
I'm going Bucky Irving here at 6,700. I really want. I love Bucky Irving this week. He's
Okay.
one of my favorite DFS guys.
Ryan?
This week, guys, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the Saturday and Sunday slate so I don't exclude anyone from Saturday. I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. And I'm doubling down on the Bucky Irving love this week. I'm also going Bucky Irving. Waleed, your wide receiver.
One of the reasons I went Kenny Pickett is so I could pair him with AJ Brown.
Okay.
I think we saw AJ Brown cook last week with Pickett, and I want to see that continue.
Okay. Ryan?
Um, If you're doing stacks, I'm gonna go Baker with Evans, but it's tough for me not to say BTJ. So it's a toss up for me, Evans and BTJ.
Follow
Okay.
your heart, my friend.
I'm gonna double down with Waleed again. I'm also going AJ Brown. Waleed, your tight end.
I'm going Chigakonkwo because you pointed out that Mason
Oh
Rudolph
yeah,
stat last week, and it came out nice and like it came out good.
Sure
And
did.
Jacksonville's bad against tight ends, and Chig's only 3,600 on DK. I
yeah.
think it's a solid money saver that lets me like pay up in other spots.
Sure.
Nine catches on 11 targets last week. He is the TH fantasy mid tier kind of shitty tight end of the week. Chigo Conquo.
Oh, is he really?
Uh,
Hell yeah!
yes, that's
I
right.
haven't quite gotten to the episodes yet.
So I will be doubling down on that as well.
Okay. I am paying up, and I'm gonna go with a guy named Brock Bowers.
Hey, I don't disagree with that.
So
Guys, if you want to get super spicy though, super cheap,
yeah,
Payne Durham, because Kate Otten is not playing.
You know what? I was looking at that because
He had 7 targets last week.
right. Carolina bad against tight ends.
yeah,
So, Waleed, your defense.
I'm going Cleveland. Now that I saw that weather, they're only 2,400 on DK, and I think that it's going to be a 2 game in the rain.
Okay, Ryan.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna go with middle of the road here. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay, yeah. And I'm kind of with you, Waleed, but I'm gonna go with Miami, hoping that first off, I don't know who the hell the quarterback is, and 2/3 of the options they have are really good for to stream defenses against. Either it's Jameis or DTR in the rain. So I'm gonna go with Miami.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it, guys. We ran through the slate. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week for week 18. Who knows what the fuck that's gonna look like? Probably be a 20-minute episode.
It'll be a unders episode.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah. Well.
So good luck in your fantasy championship games. I hope you don't have CeeDee Lamb like I did. Hopefully you avoided Chuba Hubbard. Apparently, like 36% of DraftKings championship game participants have Chuba Hubbard this week.
Oh no.
Sucks. So
Yeah.
So they're just holding him out because why?
he's injured.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he has a calf, I think.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's week 17. Good luck in your fantasy championships. We'll see you guys back here next week because there's always time to get money. That's super important.
Oh yeah.
So
There's still good. There's still a good 2 weekends of like good sports betting left.
exactly.
Oh,
So good night, everybody.
we got all the
Kind of,
playoffs too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Game start in 40 minutes. Evan, thank you so much for hopping in and producing. It means a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys next week. Yeah.